with that. Okay?
We live.
Okay.
We live.
Baby, you can walk like normal.
You say you want me to walk slower because you was...
I'm good, though.
All right.
I don't want you to think.
All right.
I'm going to still be in the video.
As long as you're still in the video.
Good morning.
The video.
So we wanted to come on this morning and see how all the married couples are doing during this quarantine.
Being at home.
Being at home with your boo.
With your...
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because we're used to them going off to work, or you going off to work and y'all going your separate ways and having those 8 to 10 hours away from one another. But then you come back home, you have to, reset. But now,
Yeah, because distance makes the heart grow fonder.
right. But now you guys have them in your face every day, all day.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how many of you wives, these wives, husbands are expecting, or how many of our husbands are expecting the wives to do more than what they're used to doing while they were working? I'm talking about.
What you mean?
Okay, this is what I mean. Now, listen. You eat lunch at work, but you want us to make you a lunch at home. Okay? You ain't used to eating breakfast before you go to work. Now you want a full breakfast.
Nah, see,
now that you home.
Ain't nobody said nothing about no full breakfast.
Okay, full breakfast, half a breakfast, a little bit of breakfast. You want breakfast though.
I'm cool.
Right?
I'm cool with a smoothie.
You good with a smoothie? Okay, that may be you. That may not be for somebody else.
No, but this is the thing though. What is it? At home, some of y'all meeting y'all kids for the first time.
Getting to know the children for the very first time.
Right, very first time.
That's what it is.
And so we out on a walk. So we walking, trying to get a little exercise in.
Morning.
Trying to practice a little bit of social distancing, but we ain't social distancing from each other, I guess.
No, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
When you're married.
So yeah.
It's a hard thing to do.
So we got it going on.
So you have to get to know your children. Get
How
to know
y'all
your
doing?
kids. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Y'all making the walk fun, huh?
Oh yeah,
We
to.
got to do something with it.
You got
All
to.
right.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. So, is
What did it say?
y'all,
That's Robert. That's me, ho. What did he say, y'all? I can't read it, babe.
y'all shooting a movie or what? No, we're
Well,
not
I
shooting a
guess
movie.
you can call it that. I guess you can call it that.
A video.
Video.
A video.
But we want you guys, you married couples, to be encouraged. Use
Be
this
encouraged.
time. Yes, be encouraged. Use this time to get to know your spouse a little bit more. Because listen, I don't care if you've been married for 5 years, 10 years, 15 minutes, 15 years, 55 years. You're gonna learn something new about your spouse every single day because they're gonna evolve. They're gonna change. They, as when y'all first started dating, they might like pickles, and then when they become 56 years old, they don't want to eat pickles. No.
Nah, see, okay, this is the thing. All right, so
or they might like mayonnaise on the sandwich, and then later on they
I'm
want
gonna tell
mustard.
you. I'm gonna tell you how it really. I'm gonna tell you how it really is.
Okay, tell us how
See,
it really is.
so a man marries a woman thinking she not gonna change.
Okay.
A woman marries a man thinking he is gonna change, and they both disappointed.
A man marries a woman thinking she not gonna change. A woman marries a man thinking he is gonna
Right,
change.
exactly. And they're both
That's true.
and
That's true.
and they're both disappointed.
And they both disappointed. And let me tell you why you're disappointed. Because you have set expectations on the other person without conveying the information to them. So when they don't meet your expectations, you get upset.
No, why is it that you got to change? You know what I'm saying?
It's called compromise, Doc.
No,
it's not change,
the
it's
thing
compromise.
is, see, you married a person for who they are, then you want to change up later.
I gotta read the comments.
I need you to stay the
So I
same.
can read the comments.
I need you to stay the same.
What they say? Preach. I can't read the comments, baby. Stop walking so I can read the comments.
You want me to start walking? The whole purpose of this is to walk.
I know.
Miss y'all. Miss you too, brother. You guys seem happy and keeping it. Oh, what's up, Steph?
We are happy. We are happy. But you know what? Speaking of that, I was just telling Jay about that. Happiness is temporary. Happiness comes and goes. And we were having a walk the other day, and this is just, me being transparent, and we were discussing our marriage and our life and our relationship and things of that nature. And we're going through this thing right now.
So Dwayne.
Babe.
I didn't say hi.
We're going through this
What's
thing.
up, Dre? How you been, boy?
We're going through this thing right now where, we're only 6 years dating. It'll be 6 years. 6 years that we just
6 years dating.
6 years dating. Yes, because we started
We
dating.
still dating.
Hold on, babe. Sorry, my
We
shit.
married, but we still dating. That's what you're trying to get at. We married, but we still dating.
That's right.
We ain't 6 years dating with a whole bunch of kids and stuff
my
like that.
God.
No, we're married, but we're still dating. Let's get that right.
Okay, babe.
Let's get
Jesus.
that right.
So my point that I was saying, we were having a conversation on our walk, and I was telling Jay that I want our marriage and our relationship to rest in joy.
Let's go.
Because good morning. Because when you rest in joy, that's where you find peace. That's where you find understanding. That's where you find love. That's where you find, permanent happiness. That's where you find forgiveness, commitment. That's where you find all the things that you aspire to have in your marriage when your marriage is rested in joy. Because
And it's
joy is
consistent.
exactly
Yeah.
joy is consistent and it's everlasting. It's when we seek happiness that we get disappointed because we're looking for the other person to make us happy instead of looking for the joy in ourselves and in the other person. So if we take our marriage and we allow our marriage to rest in joy, everything else follows. Everything else comes to pass.
Well, you can't wait on somebody else to make you happy anyway. That's
Right, you're
never
gonna be
work.
disappointed. You're gonna be highly disappointed.
Yeah, wait on somebody else make you happy, man. Please, you better
Yeah.
be happy before that.
Yeah.
Cause I promise you.
Or find joy before find. That's what it is. No one takes the time to find joy before they seek their spouse, or men don't take the time. Some men, not all. Some men don't take the time to find joy before they go looking for their spouse.
How you know that?
I
How
said
you know?
some.
How you know that? You're not a man.
I've talked to some men.
You got to speak for the woman. Can't speak for the man.
Some men do not take the time to find joy before they seek their spouse, and some women don't take the time to find joy before they put themselves in position to be found by their spouse.
Somebody got to find somebody.
Morning. Yeah, but the Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing.
And obtaining favor from the
And
Lord.
obtaining favor from the Lord, exactly.
I can't get nobody.
So, you're not just looking for a spouse, you're not just looking for a wife, you're expecting favor when you do find her. So there's a level of expectation that you should have in seeking your spouse.
Okay, so let's go back to expectations though, because a lot of times we talk about expectations, but we don't always express. Like we said, we don't always express
Right.
those expectations one to
Right.
another. You have expectations that you put on yourself and put on the other person
Right.
because of other factors, outside factors that you have not discussed with your spouse.
Right.
You expect he ought to be this and she ought to be that, and y'all have never communicated that to one another.
Right.
You said, well, since you my husband, you supposed to do this.
Right, or you should know.
You should know.
Right.
As if we all
That's a killer right there.
some mind readers around here.
Yeah, that's
You
a
know,
killer right there. When
you should know how I feel.
When you guys are expecting your spouse to just know how you feel, or when you're expecting your spouse, and I know that for some people this may just be like, oh, okay, y'all ain't talking about
Let me
nothing.
cross over, use my other hand.
Y'all ain't talking about, let's stop for a second. Y'all not talking about nothing. This is something that we already know. But it doesn't matter how long you've been married. There's still a point in time in your marriage where you have an expectation of your spouse that you haven't conveyed to them, that you haven't told them, and then when they don't meet those expectations, you get upset. And the only person you need to be upset with is you, because you did not take the time to actually tell the spouse what you needed from them. They don't listen. We're loving one another. I'm loving my husband based on the love that I want to receive from him. I'm also loving him based on how I was shown how to love a man, but I also need to love him the way that he needs to be loved. And in order for me to do that, I need to ask the questions, and then he also needs to be able to tell me how he needs to be loved so that I can hit it.
Okay.
Because if he doesn't tell me how he needs to be loved, then it's going to be, in some areas, it's going to be challenging. But not every man knows how he needs to be loved. Not every woman knows how they need to be loved. So it's definitely patience. And let me tell you, marriage will definitely test your patience in so many areas.
Well, I think too, a lot of times we marry an individual and we don't realize a lot of times you're not marrying that person. You're marrying.
Read the comments.
You're not marrying that person. You're actually marrying their past experiences. I'm marrying her past experiences and her thoughts and her past expectations, and she's marrying mine.
Right.
Because a lot of times we hadn't figured out exactly what our full expectations are because we hadn't studied it. See, when you married the first time you married, you don't know what it is because you never been married before. You don't know what it's like to be a husband. You don't know what it's like to be a wife. It's your first time doing it, so you got to figure it out. Terry's asking about future life.
Oops.
I'm taking responsibility of different things because people don't want to. Yeah, that's true. You gotta always work on you.
Yeah.
You gotta always work on you.
It's a self-evaluation type of thing. And let me tell you this too. You said communicate, always asking questions. Everybody thinks they're a great communicator until they get into a marriage.
Everybody feel like their communication skills are just on par.
I just said that.
And you ought to understand exactly what I'm saying, how I'm feeling.
I just said that.
You're the best communicator, you know, because everybody, listen, because before you get married, everybody understood you. I could, you know, had this thing where, you know, everybody understand what I'm saying. I ain't never had this issue with nobody else.
Yeah.
My friends and I, we get along great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Family members,
when
we all get along
married,
great. And then you get married, like, look, what's wrong with her? Why her communication so bad? You know what I'm saying? Why she so, you know, why is it that, you know what, you know,
why she
you got a bad understanding. You know what I'm saying? All that. But the thing is, you're going off, again, your past communication and you not realizing that you had this whole thing where you talking to your friends and your family, but you can go home later to your own house and get a break from them. When you with your wife, you don't get no break. So y'all got to communicate in heated times. You got to communicate in happy times. You got to continue to communicate when you're tensed or frustrated. And sometimes those tensions and frustration make you think that this person is the craziest person in the world. How in the world did I end up with this person? Why did God let me marry this person?
But you crazy too.
It's crazy, you know what I'm saying?
But you have to understand.
But see, I know my crazy.
Right, but that's the
I
thing.
I don't know your crazy. I know mine.
I'm taking the stick now. I'm taking the stick because this is the thing. We have to realize, and I told this to Jay the other day. I said, listen, I know I get on your nerves just as much as you get on my nerves. Like, we get on each other's nerves. We get on each other's nerves. That's just it. So I need to also consider the fact that even though there are times where you get on my nerves, I know I get on your nerves. But your crazy is just as much as my crazy. But I love his crazy. His crazy gets on my nerves, but I love it. And so we just have to remember that, hey, ooh, he get on my nerves.
See, my
you
crazy,
get on his nerves too.
But my crazy is anointed. That's the difference.
Hold a stick.
My crazy.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
My crazy is anointed. I'm crazy anointed.
You crazy anointed?
I can't get no help.
Well, listen, we still
on
working
this
on
sanctified
our communication.
Facebook Live. I can't get no help.
Our communication is not, okay. Our communication is nowhere where it used to be. It is. It has gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better. Whereas before, we used to.
You got to work on that.
We used to talk at each other.
Yeah.
A lot. To where it will get into full-blown arguments.
Well, you get to the place to where instead of communicating, you're trying to what's the word I want to say?
Say your piece.
You're trying to
be heard.
You're not trying to communicate with that person. You're trying to change that person.
Right.
You're trying to make them this instead of trying to come together and find some type of common ground, compromise. You're not trying to compromise. You're trying to change them.
Right.
And it's not your job to change them.
And the sooner you realize that it's not your job to change them, it's your job to work on yourself and yourself to be changed from the inside out and allow God to do that. That's when things in your marriage will start to change. That's when things in your marriage will start to get better.
You don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You get married, you don't know what you're doing. You really have to rely on God to help you realize how you're supposed to do this thing, navigate that thing, because you have your relationship with God. I have my relationship with God.
Yeah.
God, the miracle that God does is he takes one whole person over here and one whole person over here, puts them together and make them one whole person.
Right.
And so that's the miracle that God does, but only God can do that.
Right.
You know, that's what he does. We trying to cause
only God can do that through your submission.
Yeah.
You have to submit to his will, and that's where everybody wants to, he not supposed to tell me what to do. I'm not supposed to submit to her because I'm the head. He the head, but I'm the neck, and he can't do this. First of all, you have to understand that if your husband submits to God, it makes it easier for you to submit to him because you're following Christ.
No, so, if you submit to God, it makes you easier because if you submit to God.
Let me finish my point.
You got our own.
Add on and interrupt when I'm trying to say something.
Because I can't get no help.
You don't need no help.
And it's sanctified Facebook Live.
Oh my Jesus, help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. Y'all help me. Y'all help me.
Help her, Lord.
Help me. Okay, pray for me.
She need help.
Pray for me.
Help her, Lord.
But that's what it is. You know, you have to be submissive. Both parties have to be submissive. Jay has to submit to me, and I have to submit to him. We both have to submit to the Father.
Ways.
So submission is really If you have submission, everything else comes easy. Communication comes easy, intimacy comes easy, understanding comes easy, laughter comes easy, dwelling in the same home comes easy, finances come easy. If you have submission, all of it boils down to you submitting to Christ and you submitting to the one that He has placed in your life to be your protector, your provider, you know, and your covering.
Hey, but let's get back to this quarantine though, because look, if you have been working back and forth, going to work back and forth, and then now all of a sudden you at the house with your spouse, you at the house every day, or more time with your spouse, more time with your children, you are really getting to know each other more than you ever did.
Yeah, because the stuff that I used to do when
What's
they
up,
wasn't
Ron?
at the
How you
house,
do?
I can't do no more.
What'd you say?
The stuff that I used to do when y'all wasn't at the house, I can't do no more.
What kind of stuff you used to do at the house?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
What kind of stuff you doing?
Because when the kids are at school and you're at work, I have the entire house to myself. Okay? To myself. But now it's, babe, what's for lunch? Mommy, I want this. Stop it. No, don't do that. Mom, what you doing?
A whole lot of refereeing.
Oh man, I might
You
do
should.
black and white every day. Every day.
With a whistle.
Every day.
Break it up.
If somebody's not getting put in time out, they're getting sent to their room. If they're not getting sent to their room, they're getting a pop. If they're not getting a pop, then they get reprimanded.
So now you know.
And I'm talking about everybody, including Jay. Okay? Jay gets sent to his room.
So now you know how it feels. You parents at home. Now you know how it feels dealing with your kids at school. What the teachers deal with at school every day. They
Right.
understanding what they really got to deal
It takes
with.
a whole lot of patience. It really does. We want you guys to take this opportunity to, that time that you didn't, you didn't have with your spouse, you didn't get to be with your spouse, like catch up on something on DVR.
Yeah, you heard that dog barking? It was a little bitty dog, Felicia. You know, it's like the little bitty dogs that always want to bark the loudest. It's a little bitty dog. But go ahead, I'm sorry. She was talking about the dog. Did I interrupt you?
Give me the stick. Wives, does your husband always interrupt you when you're talking? Because my husband always interrupts me when I'm talking. Not always, sometimes. He interrupts me when I'm talking because he just feels like he gotta get it out.
But it's an anointed interruption.
There's no such thing.
Make sure you put it as an anointed.
There's no such thing as an anointing interruption.
It's an anointed
Get closer.
interruption.
Walk behind me so you can be on the line. There's no such thing as an anointing interruption. That don't even make sense. Man, I'm done. I paid my dues. Oh, Jesus, I'm telling you. This is definitely one for the books.
I'm actually enjoying being at home, hanging out with the family every day, because I've been feeling in the last few months, especially like, man, you give your job, you go to work every day, you give your job.
We love you too, Felicia.
You give your job the best of you, and then you come home and give your family the rest of you.
Right.
And I'm like, man, I'm starting to rethink this whole thing. Like, man, is this the way it really is supposed to be? To where
Right.
we're sitting up here working so much, and we give our fumes to our family, our fumes to our spouses. To me, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that we got to revamp how we communicate, how we plan to live out our lives, how we plan to continue on building marriages and building relationships. So I appreciate the quarantine, shelter in place. I don't feel really quarantined because we out and about today because we continue to do our workouts and stuff. But
Right.
I really think that we should appreciate this time though.
Yeah.
Because you'll never get this time back. You
won't.
never get this time back with your spouse. You never get this time back with your children. So
And I mean, look of it as not a free vacation, but you know, when you go on vacation, we take vacation to spend time with our families. But we spend money going to a hotel, we spend money going to restaurants, we spend money going to the amusement parks. You sitting at home, make the best of it. Make your home an amusement park.
staycation.
Yeah, make it a staycation. Enjoy the family, enjoy the time. You know, send the kids to the room. Let the kids, you know, do one part in one room, and you and your husband or you and your spouse, you know, you guys watch TV in y'all's room, or you know, make it a movie night. Like, you got to be creative about it with it. You really do. And so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's been difficult being creative with the two toddlers because their attention span is short.
Yes.
Their attention span is short. If
Yes.
we're not watching Aladdin or Hook or Moana or ABC, JP every morning, ABCs. He comes and runs. Like this morning he got mad because I sent him back in his room. Their door opens up at 6:30.
It don't matter what time they go to bed.
6:30, 7:30, don't matter what time
They up ready to go at
Yes.
6:30. It doesn't matter.
And you hear that door open up
They're
and
ready to go.
they feet just run from one side of the house to the other.
They're ready to
and
go.
before he even hit my bedroom door, I said, go get back in your bed. Because I did not want him in my bed this morning.
They stay ready.
So you gotta just, but you know, right now they're at home with the oldest, you know, having their sibling time, and you know, we're having our alone time. Even if it is, you know, a walk in the park, it's still some time to
This
us.
is still QT.
Yeah. Exactly.
This is still quality time. It's still QT.
Right.
You know, being able to get a walk in, have conversation,
Yeah.
and share with you. You know.
It's an opportunity for us just to be together and talk about what we want to talk about. Like the other day, we were talking about the things that we want to teach Cadence as a young woman. You know, on yesterday, was it yesterday's walk or day before yesterday? You know, we were talking about how does Julian want her to be raised? You know, and how does Kiana want Cadence to be raised? And we started talking about, you know, things that we can do and just you know, making sure that we're both on the same page as far as at what age should she do these things and what age should she do those things. So
Yeah, I don't
the
feel
topic
like,
of discussion.
I don't feel like she should date. She's 25.
That wasn't the topic of
My
discussion.
wife don't feel differently about that.
Yeah, Jay wants her to wait till she's 25
I
to
want
start
her
dating.
maintain her innocence as long as possible. 'Cause I know how it is out in these streets.
And he doesn't feel like she needs to have her nails polished.
It's a war going on.
He doesn't feel like at 5 that she should have her nails
No,
polished.
she's supposed to be sanctified.
And he feels as though
Sanctified. Can't get no
that
help.
if her nails are polished
Can't get no
at
help.
this age, that she's not
Is
sanctified.
the temperature going down?
It is. So,
Sanctified.
exactly. Typical daddy. And so I just have to explain to him that she's 5. She's wanting to do, Cadence is a girly girl. She has been a girly girl since day one. Okay, since day one. And I'm pretty sure it has a lot to do with that. But she is a girly girl. And
She can be girly and be sanctified.
yes, she can. And that's why
I can't
we
get no help.
choose that's why we choose little things for her to experience that are age appropriate. So nail polish, light pink, you know, light colors, she can experience those things. But we don't polish her nails every single week. She's not getting press-on nails on her hands. You know, we're doing it for special occasions. Yeah, that wind is
Picking up, baby.
we do it at special occasions. Because I was telling him, you know, my nails, these are long for me. Okay, I normally don't wear my nails this long. But when I was a hairstylist, I used to have 13-year-old, 14-year-olds come in there with nails longer than this and with inches.
Are them nails sanctified? Let me see them.
These,
Are those nails sanctified? That's the question. Are the nails sanctified? You need sanctified nails.
what is a sanctified nail?
Like what's it called? Nude color? When it's like clear or nude or whatever? Ain't that sanctified nails? Y'all let me know. Ain't that sanctified nails when it's clear?
There's no such thing as a sanctified nail.
When it's
That's
colored,
not even. That's
it's like bone. Is it like bone? Is the right word bone?
He's trying to show out. There's no such thing as a sanctified nail.
Oh, okay.
What is,
I thought the sanctified nail,
Julian
the
does
saints,
not.
the saints of old, what the saints of old wore.
Anything with color.
Bobby socks.
Okay, let's keep it real quick. Okay, my husband had a list before he married me.
Oh my God,
Since-
we're not gonna go through this.
Yes, we are.
No, I'm leaving.
Okay, bye. My husband had a list before we started dating. Okay,
Yeah.
his list was very specific.
Somebody calling me on my phone.
Nope, ain't nobody calling you. It was very detailed. Okay.
That's a
She
whole nother
couldn't
video.
have-
That's a whole nother video.
He didn't want a woman that wore makeup,
That's a whole nother video,
that
boss.
wore fake hair,
That's a whole
that
nother
wore
video.
colorful nails. None of that. None of that.
Sanctified.
Sanctified in his words.
He.
Oh, but God. So he knew when we were dating that I
So,
was a hairstylist.
Back to the quarantine.
He knew that when we were dating that I was a hairstylist.
Marriage and quarantine.
I wore makeup. I was a makeup artist. I got my nails done. So there's certain colors that he does not like. So if I put a blue on my nails, oh, that's not
okay.
that's not
That's not the topic of the video.
Yes, it is the topic. We're talking about We talking about
That's
nail
not the
polish.
That's not the topic of the video.
Sanctified nails.
That's a whole nother video
That's what we talking about.
for a whole nother day.
So with that being said,
That's not the wrong. That's the
he
wrong
has
video.
become accustomed to my colorful nails, my inches, because I change my hair all the time.
But look, I'll tell you this though.
And my red lips. And a matter of fact, I got married with red lips.
Ron, don't bring that stuff up. Don't bring that
What did
old
he
stuff
say?
up.
What did he say?
Don't be bringing the old stuff up.
What did he say?
So
Let me see what he said.
So
I can't read that walkie-talkie. Oh, see, Ron, you remember that list 20 years ago?
we worked at U of H together. So I'm gonna angle the camera.
That list.
I'm gonna angle it that way.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like doing something different.
That list was serious, wasn't it, Ron?
Hey, well look, but you know, I know so many preachers that have married hairstylists and makeup artists. You know, it's like a thing.
I wonder what I do that.
It's like a thing. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. After that, we about
Because
to.
I know we're gonna keep ourselves together.
Okay, we about to shut this down.
Why?
We'll shut the video down.
Babe, we got people watching. The people want to know.
What they don't want to know about no list.
That was just an example.
They don't know about no list.
Hey, walk on the sidewalk. I told you I walk behind you.
They don't want to know about no list, boss.
Well, the list is out the window. But I was saying all that to say this, that even in that conversation, we took the time, even in that walk, we took the time to converse with one another, to say the things that we would like for our daughter to grow up learning. So we use this time, this walk time, to have conversations that we normally wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Or we don't have the quiet time to have when the kids are in the house.
It's a good time to have
Because
to iron out some stuff during the walk.
If we want to have a serious conversation, we gotta close the door and lock it. Otherwise, JP will bust through that thing like he Incredible Hulk.
That cat different. That cat not from here.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. But marriage in quarantine is definitely gonna allow you guys to become closer, get to know your spouse a little bit more.
How long you gonna be able to handle it?
Yeah. Woo.
How long you gonna be able to handle it?
'Cause I need. Oh my God, today.
But you know, you still gotta find your me time. And sometimes that's why sometimes I'll walk by myself. Sometimes, or I'll
I walk by myself as well.
trying to get that me time in a little bit. So you still need your me time. You still need your togetherness time. But I still feel like it's a great time to share and experience and.
Man, we need to go to the store.
Store for what? Okay. What time is it? What time is it right now?
It is 10:30.
All right. Hey, well, thank y'all so much for hanging with us for these few minutes.
Yeah.
And we're about to finish up our walk now, and I guess make a store run real quick. But be safe out there.
To get out, we take trips to H-E-B. Those are our outings right now because those are the essential stores that are open. The grocery stores. Oh my goodness. Lord help us.
Oh man, love y'all too. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll see y'all next time.
Be empowered during this quarantine.
Yeah, be empowered.
Stay focused. Stay prayed up. Lay hands on your family. Get your blessed oil and just cover everybody in prayer.
Yeah.
You know, use this time to instill the word of God into your children, into your spouses, into your home. Welcome God into your home.
Yeah, it's a good time, great time to have family Bible study.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And just have fun.
Talk about some essentials, things in the Word. Yep. All right, folks. Y'all take care.
Thank you guys for watching.
Love y'all.